What's up, guys? This is Karan Tacker. You're watching me on Conversations Unplugged with Vaibhav.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Conversations Unplugged. And today we have a man who wears many, many hats. He is not only a fabulous, fabulous actor, he is a spontaneous host. He's very famous with the ladies. And not only that, he is a mama's boy, from what I can make out. We have none other than the super talented, suave, and very, very social media famous Karan Tacker with us. Hi, Karan. How are you? Thank you for making
Hey,
time.
buddy. Thank you so much for that really fantastic introduction. No, thank you so much for having me, and a very good morning to you because we're on two totally different schedules.
Time zones,
I mean,
yeah.
you're somewhere in the States. I'm in India, so yeah, this is your morning. So you're having chai. For me, on a
It's my
Saturday, it's
काढ़ा
been
actually. यार ये काढ़ा है क्योंकि with COVID and everything, mummy always says कि सुबह सुबह काढ़ा पीना चाहिए.
correct. नहीं, मम्मी कभी गलत बोलती नहीं है वैसे भी. So I'm sure like what you're doing is right.
Right, right. Well, let's start with this whole last year, man. I mean, 2020 was crazy for everybody globally. But a lot of people say कि यार 2020 end होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए. I thought it kind of gave us time to kind of slow down a little bit. It gave us time to kind of introspect, retrospect, and even work on things that we never actually touched upon. So my question is, what is it that you did that you've never done in your life before, जो 2020 में किया?
Actually, I'll be honest, I'm with you on that, Vaibhav. I had a I mean, I know it comes at the cost of a pandemic, but I had a very good time in the entire
Yeah.
lockdown. I really made the most of it. Um, in fact, between you and me, there's times that I miss it. I just feel like it was so much easier to live in a lockdown than live in the situation that we're in because that COVID's not gone down. We're still in a bad situation. You're out. You're more scared now than you were before because everybody's out, right? So you've got to be extra
Yeah.
careful. When you're indoors, you just felt so much safer. Having said that, yeah, like I made the most of it. Every day felt like a very elongated Sunday. I spent ample amount of time at home. I think I remember the lockdown actually started the day Special Ops actually released.
Yeah.
I feel
And we're
like
gonna
that was
get to that, by the
strangely
way.
that strangely in a way ended up becoming quite ironically interesting. So the first day of lockdown was the release of Special Ops, and there was so much that went after that for like 3 to 4 months because we were promoting online, and then as an actor, you fortunately end up receiving love or hate, either or. So addressing that took a whole lot of time. Plus, in the midst of all of this, I remember that when I used to get when I used to be giving interviews and I used to wear my headphones and I used to be doing jhadu or I used to be doing bartan at that time. So for me, it was quite interesting. I remember my mother used to be like, "अब interview दे रहा है तब बर्तन करना तो बंद कर दे उस टाइम पे आवाज जाती होगी." मैं कहा मम्मी अभी वक्त ऐसा चल रहा है अब सबको पता ही है कि क्या हालत है.
वो
So
इंटरव्यू लेने वाला भी शायद बर्तन कर रहा हो.
in all probability, and I remember my sister clicked actually a very interesting photo of me doing jhadu because I was doing jhadu and I was giving an interview at that time. So I was telling somebody on the phone, I was like, man, this is the most grounded I've ever felt in my life. The success of this show is just not going to let anybody fly because this is pretty much what we're doing.
Right.
So once all of that dialed down, I know simultaneously there's so much that I ended up doing. Me and the family, we took so many holidays around whatever was more trouble to us. So we went to this place called Ambi Valley, which is about like 2.5 hours drive from Mumbai. We went to Panchgani, we went to Mahabaleshwar, we went back to Lonavala once. So we went to Pavna Dam. So whatever you could do by a car,
Yeah.
we did that. And the charm was कि दो गाड़ियां जाती थी जो हमारे I had one staff with me at that time. Our staff also used to come with us. पूरी गाड़ी में जितना भी all your cutlery, all your cooking stuff, खाने का सामान सब जाता था because wherever we were going was a homestay. So then going setting up there, living there for 2 to 3 weeks, living that life. So I had a very fun time, and I was working out at this home gym. Can't even call it a home gym because it was a barbell and a dumbbell that I used to use. So I had a good time.
No,
I miss
you
it.
and we follow you on social media. We can
Yeah,
see that, like you're always like this happy guy, and
yeah,
you're just so, you sound and you look very content in life, and you don't see that very often with any creative field nowadays. Like
right,
everybody wants to do something in a hurry, right? And
right.
you are like very content and you're very zen like. So that's very very
Well,
nice.
Vaibhav, honestly, I think, that's the only endeavor to life, right? You want to reach a point where, you constantly find happiness in what you have. You set out goals, you achieve them. At times you don't achieve them. You enjoy both the failures and the successes. And you just take it all in. Content at times, gets taken very incorrectly. Content at times gets taken as somebody who doesn't um uh, you
Laziness.
know, no, not even laziness. Somebody who's just hit a dead end with what they desire from life. In fact, I
Right.
feel it's just it's a matter of perspective. I like to set short-term goals. I like to meet my short-term goals because that's actually the feeling that gives you it gives you a sense of achievement. Because what happens usually you end up putting such long-term goals. अब वो मिलते मिलते पता नहीं चलता तो आई फील लाइक छोटे गोल्स होने चाहिए इमीडिएट गोल्स होने चाहिए जिसको आप हर दिन या हर हफ्ते या हर महीने या हर क्वार्टरली whatever however you set it you're achieving them because that kind of happiness of achieving your goals gives you this lifeline to constantly keep going so
Correct.
that's the kind of content that I'm an extremely driven guy. I have massive dreams for myself. I won't deny it. I'm very competitive. I love what I do. I love acting. As far as what you just said, that people do a whole lot of things. I actually, since the day I started working, which is I think 11 to 12 years back, I was always uh, I was always very clear of what I wanted from my career. I was always very clear of what kind of work I wanted to do. So I've never been in a situation where I've been like, oh my God, I'm feeling like terrible. Where I'm like, man, सब लोग इतना कर रहे हैं यार, मैं क्यों नहीं कर
Huh, that's what
रहा?
I was trying to get at. You're probably
Hmm,
super ambitious, and you
yeah,
want to do a lot in life, but I don't
yeah,
see you as this. What's the word? Malign, maybe. You don't want
yeah,
to malign anyone, or you don't want to like bring anyone down to reach up. And I see that in you, where you're just like, okay, things will come to me, and I'll do these things, and I don't really need to just go after it crazily, where
yeah,
I see nowadays with the whole paparazzi, social media,
yeah.
PR, and this and
Hmm,
that, everybody's just out there, and you can tell that they're out there for the reason
yeah.
of just being out there. You, on the other hand, you let your work speak, and that's what's commendable.
You can't really pull anybody down, no, because it's as simple
Yeah,
as this. अब जो मेरा ambition है वो मेरा ambition है, हो सकता है किसी और का ना हो।
correct,
जो मेरी desires हैं वो definitely मेरी desire है। कल को मुझे कोई काम करना है जो मुझे नहीं मिलता for maybe there's somebody who's better suited at it or for whatever reasons. Of
right,
course it feels bad. I'm a very ambitious guy, and I've anyways boiled down what I want to do to this much of, I'm very selective. These are the makers I want to work with. This is the kind of shows I want to do, or this is the kind of films I want to do. So when it's already like this much of a residue, when that also gets taken away for whatever reason it
whatever
could have
reason,
been,
yeah,
it really hurts.
yeah,
But the charm is you just got to keep going, right? That's the only way life is. The movement is what is constant, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, I celebrate my successes and my failures. In fact, quite frankly, I feel like my failures is all that teaches me. Success actually makes you very complacent. So I
correct.
actually value
So
my
rightly said.
failures much more. I hold my failures very close to my heart. I try my best to at times even stay bitter because that bitterness kind of gives me that drive to constantly keep going.
Right.
Um, as far as PR and paparazzi is concerned, I mean, to each to his own. I mean, I've never prescribed to the thought. I don't know how much it really helps to kind of be spotted at a restaurant or or outside a gym for
Or
that
just
matter.
walking out of an airport.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love to
Yeah.
be comfortable when I go to the airport. So I don't like the idea of having to dress up to go to the airport. Because at times I feel like people dress up more to go to the airport than what you're usually allowed to at a party. Uh,
But your
so
female fans would agree, Karan,
hmm,
that you would look
yeah.
great in anything, Like, so, I mean, you don't really need to
I mean,
try.
I thanks. I mean, that's kind of you, but you know how airports are like, when you're on a long flight, when you're going on a haul for like, let's say 12 hours, 8 hours, the last thing that you want to do is wear uncomfortable clothes, because it's going to make you look good. So I'm somebody who likes to just take it easy. I
Right.
also feel like it's your work that speaks more than just being spotted at
Absolutely.
places. मगर आपका काम अच्छा है तब काम से काम मिलता है. I don't know
Exactly.
कि how much it really adds to your celebrity status or your work portfolio to kind of be spotted, at random places
Yeah, honestly,
on a
that
daily
doesn't make
basis.
sense to me either. I think it's just for relevancy, and it's
Yeah,
also, people just want to be relevant at all times, and that's the
I
drive, I
feel.
feel.
I still prescribe to the thought that, actors have a certain enigma. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal or the profession, but I feel the lesser known, the better, because there's still a charm to get to know somebody there.
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
I feel like I feel like there is a certain demarcation between an actor, a blogger, a critic, or whatever, or like you're an interviewer, and everybody does a great job at what they do. But I feel everybody needs to hold their space, and I personally feel like actors are more charming when there's lesser known. Like, I want to know what Shahrukh Khan does every single day. I love the guy.
Oh yeah,
I want
absolutely.
to know what he looks like when he walks out of the gym. But that's
And
the thing.
have you
You
noticed
don't get
this
to see
though?
that.
Have you noticed this? People of that stature and people who have
Yeah,
reached that height, they don't tweet as much. They don't go out as much, and you won't see them with an airport look as much.
yeah. So
Isn't that?
that's the thing. So I have my we're all managed as actors by a battalion of people. So the my team always constantly keeps pushing me. You need to post more. You need to do more. Now there's reels. There's so much that goes
I
on
mean,
social media. I just
seriously.
I'm so busy enjoying life, quite frankly, that I just feel like I don't want to constantly stop the flow of enjoyment to kind of go
And
and
you
tape
don't
it
want to
and put it on
constantly
camera.
keep doing this as well, right? You
Yeah,
don't
and
want
I'm
to
a
keep
very
doing, yeah.
I've always been a very private person. I've been always extremely limited to what I like to put out as far as my personal life is concerned. So I feel like it's nice like that. It's a little more charming like that. I feel things that are close to you are meant to be close to you. Things that are supposed to be behind closed doors are actually meant to be like that, and that's the sanctity of it. Um, so if it comes at a price of not being out there all the time, I mean, that's a price that I'm absolutely okay paying.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah,
अब काम की आपने बात की है कि the work
Anji,
speaks for itself. Let's talk about
right,
work a little bit. Last year, I know it was a pandemic, but it was a
right,
super year for you work-wise because you got so much acclaim,
right,
and rightly so because I think you really really did stand out in that series. Special Ops is what we're talking about,
right.
and when you have like you know mountains like KK Menon
Right.
and you're performing scenes with such brilliant actors as such, and for you to stand out in that scene and just like making your presence felt is something great, and we're super super proud of you for that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Honestly, with Special Ops, uh it's something that I'm never going to forget. If I can say that what's the biggest point in my career, I think it would be working with Neeraj Pandey, and that is always going to be a very surreal dream. Every time I'm sitting in his office, I always tell both Neeraj sir and Sheetal sir, who's also the producer of Friday
Yeah,
Filmworks,
yeah.
that I'm being so honest that it's been a year into Special Ops, but every time I come, I hang out with you, and now, of course, there's a certain respect for each other, but we've all become, they've also warmed up to me in a certain way, and so I just feel like it's also surreal, and it's also nice to kind of, be able to, like, message a Neeraj Pandey saying, "Hi, sir, how are you?" and having him respond to you. So it's a nice space. It's quite dreamy for me. I'm very happy in still being cloudy about it. Um, and yeah, I got lucky with Special Ops being directed by Neeraj Pandey, quite frankly. I told Sir this recently that, with all due respect, there's so much out there, but the way he balanced Special Ops as a show with, so-called content-driven but commercial in a certain way, just that the way he holds that space is brilliant. There are very very few makers who can balance that beautifully, because what happens is, see, India is still not very used to narrating stories over 8 to 10 hours. and doing
And
that
also
that brilliantly.
censorship. Also censorship. India's not
Yeah,
very
and
used to not having censorship.
absolutely. And the thing is, I'm very proud to be associated with a show which has absolutely no kind of gimmicks, so to say, to kind of just attract an audience.
Yeah.
It could be blood, it could be the gore, it could be sex, kiss, or whatever.
Profanity. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel that the content just spoke for itself, and so yeah, I'm just really proud to be a part of the show, and I'm really happy to kind of be associated with a team so earnest as Friday Filmworks and Friday Storytellers, because actually they really inculcated great values in me that actually I'm going to hold and take forward in my career. And where it's nice to kind of be working with somebody whose thought process is also, I mean, actually, where my thought process is also in tandem with theirs. So it's nice, I mean, even they believe in earnest work, and even they're like, just put the work out there earnestly and let the work speak for itself. अगर अच्छा है तो लोग अच्छा लगेगा. बाकी आप
Exactly.
कितने भी gimmicks कर लो, it's not really going to matter अगर काम अच्छा नहीं है.
And you know what's
So,
happening these days, Karan? That
hmm,
each series that we're seeing, we're
yeah,
seeing like a pattern, and that's why Special Ops kind of stood out. Where
uh,
we saw a pattern of the same kind of format, or same kind of profanity being used, and you can tell that it was being used very forcibly,
yeah.
to garner that audience retention or whatever it is. But Special Ops was different because of that. You were not forcing things into it. Yes, there were a couple of words here and there, but those were rightly placed and well thought of, and rightly fit in the script. So that was
No,
just really amazing.
I actually remember, in the show, there's two times that I curse, and I really, I know it sounds so indulgent to even talk about it. I remember reading the script and I was like, man, how do I say, how do I make sure that I say these two? I mean, I I abuse twice, and not make it look ke kaan ko khatke.
हाँ.
कि क्या थॉट
क्रास नहीं
प्रोसेस
लगना
क्या
चाहिए
होगा
ना,
कि
क्रास
हाँ
नहीं
कि
लगना
मतलब
चाहिए.
क्यों ये कैरेक्टर
हाँ, हाँ.
इस टाइम पर why is he cursing so
Yeah.
so I'm glad that I found the sound of that, and when I watched it also I didn't mind it. It didn't really look very jarring or sound like out of
Cringe
place, so to
cringe
say.
नहीं लग रहा था ना, cringy नहीं
uh,
लग रहा था. So
so
that
it
was.
was nice.
Yeah. So, a lot of interviewers probably ask you how was it working with KK Menon, right? So I won't ask you that.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you two things about him. What did you unlearn from him? What did you learn that you
Hmm.
did was doing earlier, but now you're not doing that because you saw him do it better? And second thing is, what did you learn that you didn't know about at all in the past?
Uh, honestly, KK sir and I actually just have two scenes together in the entire show.
Right.
We're always on the phone with each other. Physically, we've done two scenes together. One scene being there's a scene where I'm crossing the road and he comes in a car, where he
Right.
doesn't come out of the car. I don't go into the car, and we have absolutely no dialogues.
Oh, you're on the
Um,
cross path, on the crossroad.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
one is that, and second is when I have this whole suicide scene, and when I have this one Operation Smiley scene. So actually, I didn't get to work with him too much, because contrary to popular belief, we actually were. I was shooting the schedule in
Really?
Jordan. He was shooting in India, so we never really technically shot together. But having said that, what I did learn from the man, and we all love KK Man, and I mean, I think and he's such a sweet guy.
Yeah.
What I did learn from him is the sense of calm that he has before every scene. As fairly new actors, there are times that you tend to get flustered. You tend to take a lot of pressure of what's happening, or of the kind of probably the weight of the show on if it's on your shoulders. Uh, but there's a sense of calm to him. So I think that's the one thing that I did learn from him. Approaching work very very calmly. The second thing. That was very interesting to do with him is that both of us didn't have lines in that one scene where I asked him to like push back his car, and I think that was one of my best scenes in general. That my take back was that every time you don't really need lines to kind of have a very vivid
Silences work.
communication.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even it wasn't silences as such. It was very communicative, just without dialogues.
Right.
So that is another thing that I really enjoyed doing with him, and he's marvelous at what he does. Had I not probably had him as a co-actor in that car, doing what he does and holding the scene like the way he did, we probably would have not had that repartee in our expressions. So yes, those are the two things that I took back from him. Um, in general, even though you didn't ask me the question, it was fantastic working with KK. So it was so nice to have him on a show and be on a show, which was with him. It really gives you too much pressure to work, because you know that you're balancing the show with him doing what he's doing on one end and you're balancing it on the other end. And what really meant the world to me is when on I think 17th, no, 18th March morning or 17th March morning, one of the two. He picked up the phone or actually it was late at night on 18th March. That's when he finished the whole series. He
Hmm.
called me at 11:30, saying that, यार, मैंने तेरा काम देखा नहीं है, but after watching, like before Special Ops, but after watching Special Ops, तूने अच्छा संभाला है on the other end.
That's
So
such a nice thing
that
to say.
yeah, that meant a lot because, coming from somebody who's got such a massive body of work, which is so well acclaimed, critically and, commercially in general, and, just the man that he is, for him to pick up the phone and tell you this so candidly, I think was one of the sweetest things. And it's always going to warm my heart. So every time I see him, I have this massive love for him. And strangely, he for me, he'll always be Himmat Singh, and I'll always have that sort of
Connect with him. Yeah.
looking up to him like that.
Yeah. Right. So everybody wants to know, and I'll just ask it.
Yeah.
Is there a season two?
you know, I don't know if you know Friday Film Works. They never tell anybody anything. I don't think the office internally also knows too much. Uh, but we're working on a Special Ops 1.5, which is the Himmat story, which is a prequel to Special Ops 1 in a certain way. It's all going to kind of I think I don't know how much I can really dwell into it, but it's all going to be interesting. I can only leave that there's massive plans for the property, for the franchising in general, so there's a lot to look forward to, and for me and for the audience for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now this is the fun part of the show. The last 10 minutes, we try to have a little bit of fun,
Yeah.
and so
For
I
me,
won't
this
ask
was
you.
the most fun, because it's so nice to revisit Special Ops. Every time I talk about it, it suddenly puts me back. Like for a second,
You're
I
on a
used to
high
call it
again,
deja vu.
aren't you?
No, I forgot that it एक साल हो गया इसको. It suddenly, I don't know
Uh-huh.
why, for a second I just felt like it's still going on. It's just
No,
released.
but it
So
is.
yes,
In a way, it is, right? A lot of people who
yeah,
have not actually caught up on the show, they're still
Mm.
watching, and it's still on Hotstar. So I mean, it's
Yeah, I love it. I
you'll
love it.
find new fans every day for the show.
That is true. But thank you.
Yeah. So
Sorry, you were
last
saying something.
segment is we're not
Yeah.
doing any rapid fire, so don't worry.
Okay.
So rapid fire nahi hai.
Yeah.
I am a musical kind of guy, so I'm from the radio background, and I sing, and I'm a musician, and of course then I turned into a TV show host and a social media host, and now what I'm gonna do is incorporate songs, movies into this little game that we're gonna play. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm just gonna throw questions at you from just general life related
Okay.
questions, and you have to answer me. Okay, ठीक है. What is that one song that you sing in the shower?
Uh तुझे कितना चाहे हम, from the Jubin Nautyal version of it. If I
Okay,
say his
so
name right,
I
I'm
can sing
so
it for
good with
you.
Jubin.
Couple of lines. Can I sing it for you if you like it?
Yeah, yeah. Please do.
All right. दिल का दरिया बह ही गया इश्क इबादत बन ही गया खुद को मुझे तू सौंप दे मेरी जरूरत तू बन गया. So a little bit. I don't want to
Nice
sing
यार,
too
बड़ा
much, and
अच्छा गाते हो यार तुम यार.
yeah, thank you, thank you.
No,
So
very good. मैं घबरा रहा था to kind of enter in the middle. मैं कहा यार मैं खराब ना कर दूं.
हाँ, तो अब मैं नहीं गाना तो आपको गाना पड़ेगा थोड़ा सा, तो मैं आपको
No, but
गवाऊंगा
you're
क्योंकि.
damn good. Yeah, very, very, very nicely sung. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Please
thank
sing
you,
my
man.
bathroom like this. I'll call you every day.
All right. So,
Yeah,
growing up, a movie
yeah.
that you would watch numerous times.
Ram Lakhan.
Ram Lakhan. Would that be your guilty pleasure movie also? Because that's my next question. What's your guilty pleasure movie?
Actually, no, I'll be honest. I didn't really grow up to a lot of films. Films is something I started watching much later in my life. Uh, But I remember very vividly having a lot of influence of Ram Lakhan because believe it or not, I used to sing a lot of Ram Lakhan songs when I used to be driving back in my school bus and in my classes. That मेरी हैंडबुक में एक्चुअली एक रिमार्क था कि ये कॉन्स्टेंटली अनिल कपूर के गाने गाते रहते हैं एंड दैट वाज माय रिमार्क मुझे मम्मी से साइन करा के लाना था कि गाने बड़े गाते हैं so that's actually how I know that I used to watch or I had an influence of Ram Lakhan on me in a certain way. फिल्मी में बहुत बाद में हुआ हूँ. आई थिंक फिल्मी में मैं बड़ा होके हुआ हूँ. It was more like an acquired sort of a taste.
Right. Okay. So one actor that you've always looked up to, maybe growing up. I know you've not watched many films, but
Yeah.
still, I'm sure there's an actor, whether
No,
it's
I've watched
Bollywood,
a lot of
Hollywood.
films just now when I was younger. An actor that I've always really kind of been in love with has to be Shahrukh Khan. I think no, I feel he's one of the most charming gentlemen ever. I've fortunately had a couple of interactions with him, and he's such a true gent. It's something to take back from. Um, and just the way he kind of he could be in a room full of people but he'll make sure that he addresses every single person on a separate level and leaves a little bit something with them to kind of take back home. So yeah, Shahrukh Khan is somebody I had a massive influence of while growing up, also a very big reason for me to be an actor. um, yeah, so him. As far as Hollywood's concerned, uh, too many people. I remember having a very massive influence of Jerry Maguire when I was growing up.
Yeah.
In general, just the concept of life of
Right.
Jerry Maguire himself, really resonates with the way I have sort of grown up and with the ideologies that I've grown into. Um, One thing that I always believe in what he said is if you don't have it here, then this doesn't matter. So
Beautiful.
that's something that I always live by. So Jerry Maguire, and because of which Tom Cruise had a very big influence, and of course, Tom Cruise, one of the nicest looking, most charming men again.
Yeah.
Way from ranging from Top Gun to Jerry Maguire and to Mission Impossibles and to being the man that he is with the stunts that he does till date. So I think yeah, in the most commercial sort of a way, these two people are like who had a very big influence on me when I was growing up. Of course, once you become an actor, then the body of work that you're watching of other people just kind of really takes a shift because you're also trying to like look into your craft differently. So yeah, but in general, this is the influence that I grew up with.
Awesome. And now I can kind of connect your character in Special Ops to maybe like an Indian Tom Cruise kind of thing, you know. It
How I
had that kind
wish.
of an agent sort of a
Yeah,
feeling, and it was
yeah.
suave and very nicely done, of course.
No, but thank you.
So,
But I want to tell you, Neeraj Pandey doesn't let you be too suave after a while. He's like, बहुत ज्यादा
थोड़ा gritty करो.
अगर थोड़ा it has to be in a real space. So it was as restrained as I could be. But
Right.
yeah,
So,
thank you.
can Karan Tacker cook?
Hmm. Oh, Karan Tacker can cook really, really well.
Okay. What's your famous dish amongst your friends and family?
What's my famous dish? Actually, you know, I'm very good at making Asian food. I in general know how to toss up a very good Thai curry. I can make some very nice Korean chicken. Um, I can make some very nice, pan-seared salmon. Yeah, I'm pretty okay at cooking. In fact, it's something that I also enjoy a lot. I make fantastic eggs. I am very proud of the eggs that I make. I make my eggs very, very differently. So my omelets are something that you've got to eat. It's not something that I can really explain, but I'm very proud of the omelets that I make. Yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of requests from fans to make food for them now, and
Why
post it
not?
at least on Instagram now and again, now and then, and
I did actually a lot in the lockdown because we didn't have any home staff, so we were cooking and
yeah,
cleaning ourselves between the family.
yeah.
So I was cooking the non-veg for everybody every day. So it was yeah. So I did end up posting a couple of things.
All right. So final question, and this is where your
Hmm.
singing bit kind of comes in. If you
Damn.
had,
Okay.
yeah, and it's
Hmm.
just all fun and games. But one song you would like to sing for your sister, and or one song you would like to sing for your parents. I'll let you choose, or maybe it could be just one song for your family.
Honestly, my family always shuts me up when I'm singing. Uh, because I think I'm just constantly singing. But अभी आपने पूछा ना मेरे माइंड में कोई गाना नहीं आ रहा बहन के लिए तो चलो फिर भी मैं मस्ती में गाना गा सकता हूँ कि फूलों का तारों का सबका कहना एक हजारों मेरी बहना है. Also holds a lot of resonates with my career. In a way, it's a show that I did. Um, but my sister is more like a brother to me, so it's very difficult to sing that song to her. She's more like an elder brother, so she's cool like that. Actually, she's much cooler than I am. She should have been the actor, not me. Um, for my parents, what song would it be? Uh, I know it sounds weird, but I have great memories with this song with both my mom and my dad's birthdays,
Mhm.
which is बार बार दिन ये आए बार बार दिल ये गाए तुम जियो हजारों साल ये मेरी है आरज़ू.
कौन कहता है
So
खराब
yeah.
गाते हो यार, इतना अच्छा गाते हो। बहुत ही जबरदस्त।
वो
वेरी
माँ बाप
नाइस।
के लिए गाओ ना तो आवाज भी अच्छी आती है अंदर से.
No, no, beautiful, brother. And finally, before I let you go, to
हाँ जी.
your millions and millions of fans who are watching you right
Yeah.
now, what is that one advice you would like to give them just about life in general that you have followed all these years?
I think the one advice, even though I don't really hold myself that accountable to be mature to advise anybody, but I feel like one thing that everybody should live by is what I just said, that if you don't have it here, then this doesn't matter. अगर दिल नहीं है, अगर आप दिल से काम नहीं करते, अगर आप इंसानियत से काम नहीं करते, अगर आप प्यार मोहब्बत से नहीं काम करते, तो बहुत बेहतरीन दिमाग का कोई फायदा नहीं है.
Thank you so much, Karan. It was a pleasure, and thank you once again for doing this, man.
No, thank you so much, Vaibhav, man. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for making me relive a whole lot of memories.
No, thank you.
Well, hi guys, this is Karan Tacker. I really had a very, very warm chat with Vaibhav on Conversations Unplugged. It truly felt as unplugged and as candid as just a conversation with a buddy. So, Vaibhav, kudos to you and thank you so much for having me on your show. Uh, Honestly, क्या गाते हो यार? आपने दो लाइनें जो गाई थी, it is always it's always going to stay with me. And I wish you all the best and congratulations for doing this from where you are in the States. And I wish you the best to